A new year, a new batch of cinema magic is on the docket. Everything from highly anticipated sequels to remakes of old favorites. Some of the films hitting the big screen this year are part of franchises launching their 5th, 7th, and even 10th movies in some cases.
Well, that can be a little much to keep track of, especially with streaming services entering mix on top of everything else. So here's what we did. We brought in a little help to clear some of this up and preview some of the highlights. With us this afternoon, yes, you know him, he's a good friend of the show. This is Rob Rector, the founder of the Revival House in Milton.
Thank you for inviting me to your home. This is wonderful.
Yeah.
This is fantastic. Yeah, it was great.
So, as Lisa mentioned, we are talking some long-standing movies. What do you think? What do you think of those?
Yeah, so 2022 was a year where we slowly started to see things kind of return to normalcy. And it's thanks to essentially two 80s action stars. You have Tom Cruise with Top Gun Maverick, and then James Cameron at the end, who did Terminator 2 and Aliens, and with Avatar 2, really kind of resuscitated the box office.
Yeah.
So I think you're going to see a lot more legs and a lot more players in the field this year than we did last year. There wasn't a lot of, they weren't sure whether or not to put it on streaming, whether to put it in theaters, but I think theaters are now starting to resurge a little bit with, so we're going to see a lot more content in there. So.
Including one of my favorites, Indiana Jones.
That is one of my most anticipated films of the year.
Really?
And yes, this is the year of the old guys. I mean, you've got John Wick, who's going to be, Keanu Reeves is 58. You've got another one from Denzel Washington, Equalizer 3. You've got Kenneth Branagh doing Hercule Poirot for another round, and he's in his 60s. But then you have Harrison Ford, who is 80 and still kicking Nazi butt. So I'm excited for that one.
What he said. Okay, so let me ask you this. Big director films, Oppenheimer, Dune Part 2, Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Yeah, and all of those are on my must-watch list. Dune is one that is made its debut on HBO Max because it was in the height of the pandemic. But now they're going to release the second one in theaters, and I think it's where it's meant to be seen because it is such a world-building film. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is kind of the swan song for the director, James Gunn, who is getting ready to go over to the DC.
Really?
This is Marvel. He's going over to head all of the DC's production of their superhero franchise films. So this is his last one before he exits the building and heads over to Warner Bros. DC to do that. So he's always an interesting director, and I'm curious to see what he does with the last one, the Guardians of the Galaxy. And Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer is one of the few films that are not franchise-based. They're not tied to anything, but the story itself. I mean, the man who essentially ushered in the atomic age. The history of that is going to be exciting because it's Christopher Nolan directing it, and he's just such a visually striking director. So it'll be another good one to see on the big screen.
Can you hang out for just? We'd like to talk to you some more about some more movies.
I would love to hang out at this new place. Are you kidding me? This is beautiful.
All right.
There you go.
We have more DelmarvaLife coming your way. Stick around. When was the last time you had wind blowing in your face during a high-octane science fiction action movie? Well, for me, the answer is never, unless you count popcorn breath from the guy sitting next to me. What about you, Jimmy?
Oh, and by the way, that wasn't me.
No,
that wasn't me. I have read about the theaters where they have like vibration in the seat. Never been to one.
Never been to one?
No.
All right. Well, I know someone who got to try it out. That, of course, Rob Rector. He's a film aficionado and founder of the Revival House in Milton. Thanks for sticking around and chatting with us this afternoon. Yeah, you're going to tell us about an experience you had just recently at the King of Prussia.
Yes,
Theater
King of Prussia Theater, right by the mall, and there's the iFly, the indoor paratrooping, whatever it is. So it was wonderful. It was like this. It's called 4DX, and what you do is you sit in a row of 4 seats, and they are on hydraulics. So every time that there is a loud thump or some kind of movement on the screen, you move with it. Then there's also wind from little jets behind you. The seats actually have, I guess, some sort of device that actually, it's almost like a massager kind of, but it's a lot more like jolting than that. And there's even spray and even scents. So if you've ever been to Disney World, Soaring or Honey, I Shrunk the Kids or the Bugs Life theaters in there. They're interactive, and they all get that foundation from William Castle back in the 1950s, who used to do these things. He had the Tingler with Vincent Price, and he used to put joy buzzers under the seats. And would simultaneously release them, and everyone would get a jolt.
So what movie did you see?
The only movie that you would want to see in 4DX, and that would be Avatar, the new Avatar film. It was not only in 3D, but it was also, completely immersive. So every time we landed on Pandora, they would pipe in, I guess it was like lilacs or something that would, you would smell like you were in a different world altogether. Every time a ship landed, you would land with it. Every time there was gunfire, you would have these little jets of air from behind you. So it really helped kind of put you in that world. And it's fun for big budget films like that. Yeah. I wouldn't want to go see the latest Kenneth Branagh Shakespeare adaptation. That'd be a little jarring. But that said, I would recommend just a fun trip. It's not too expensive. No, it wasn't. Okay. It was like $22, $23, something like that. So it's worth a trip if you have some kids at home.
Do you think this is the kind of thing that movies in the future are going to start? I mean, do you think it's...
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's much more outside of just a fun effects, because like I said, there's only so many films that you can see that way, and you're going to get motion sickness. It's like a 3-hour roller coaster ride. Yeah. But I think for certain films, it is fun to kind of put you in that mindset and to really immerse you in that world. So it is fun.
So we're here kind of talking about some of the hot takes everybody has about the cinema and the movies they've seen. Is there a movie that you can think of that you've seen recently that you just really did not like?
That I really did not like? Wow. There were some that my expectations probably superseded what was delivered. The effort was there. I would probably say the one I was most disappointed by in the last year was Jurassic Park Fallen Kingdom, I think it was, the last of the Jurassic Park series. Really? Because they brought back the original actors, Jeff Goldblum, Sam Neill, Laura Dern, and it was kind of this, this big climactic end to it, and it was just really 3 hours of noise, and I would not want to see that in a 4DX theater on top of it, because it would not only make me violently ill from what was on the screen, but also being shaken about like I was in a washing machine or something.
So is there anything coming down the pipeline? Do you see any movies coming that scare you or excite you about? Yeah. Oh my goodness, here it comes.
Oppenheimer is certainly one that I'm looking forward to seeing. The Indiana Jones one, I'm so excited to see. And honestly, this is going to be a curveball, but I am actually excited to see the new Barbie film.
What?
Because Greta Gerwig is the director of it. She also did Little Women, the 2019 version of Little Women, and she did Lady Bird, which was an Oscar winner from 2017.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Both great films.
And it's Margot Robbie, right?
And it's Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling.
So, and just the little teaser trailer they have on it makes it seem like it's not going to be what you expect it to be. More like the Brady Bunch movie, kind of where, it's a wink, wink, nudge, nudge kind of to it, but it looks outstanding. I mean, it really does look amazing.
A lot to look forward to. Yeah, Rob Rector, thank you so much. Always good to have you. Got to have you back in when we talk Oscars.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm here.
All right.